What's up? I'm Kurt Benkert, and I'm your host for another Monday morning quarterback show. Now, this week of the NFL is almost over. We got the Chiefs tonight. They got the Commanders without Jaden Daniels, but it has been a wild week. I read a stat that was maybe popped across the desk this morning. Since 1970, we have not seen as many. I think it was a wide gap in scores in games, like the most point differential on average on all of these games. And I believe we only had one game. Can fact check me. Something along those lines. That was a one-score game, which we know in the NFL, a lot of teams win by 3-7, kind of the typical range. It was crazy. There were blowout after blowout after blowout, and even underdogs. A couple underdogs that were expected to get shellacked blew the other team out. We truly don't know what's ever happening in the NFL, especially this season. No matter who it is, we have the Giants a couple weeks ago that at the end of the game ended up blowing out the Eagles. They get blown out this week. It is any week, any given Sunday, and I think that's part of the reason why we all love the NFL, because we truly do not know what is going to happen. We may think we know, but we really don't know, and we're just all watching as spectators and fans. And man, this season's been a lot of fun. We've got the Colts number 1 in the league. We got the Packers, I believe, now number 2 in the league, maybe. I think they're number 2 now. Crazy game last night. Jordan Love played lights out, absolutely slinging it around the yard. 20 straight completions. It's 20 straight completions, tied Brett Favre for the Packers single game completion record in a row. It's insane. But we do have a lot of action. We've got a lot. I'm seeing free BTJ in chat. Guys, we have a trade deadline-ish show today. We're going to talk about trades. We're going to ask Copilot some questions. We're going to break down film in Copilot. It is going to be electric. I love you guys for being here. I love that we get to talk ball every Monday on Bleacher Report. It's incredible. And shout out to our sponsor, Microsoft, for making this happen and giving us this surface to cook up with Copilot. How did you know? I'm seeing chat rolling already. I'm seeing BTJ with neighbors. Look, man, look, let's start this off. We're going to start the show off right. We're going to ask our friend Copilot a little question to kick us off on the show. Okay. Who was the last player to be traded mid-season and win a Super Bowl? Do we have any answers in chat? Who do you guys think the last player to get traded who went on to win a Super Bowl was? I'm going to give you a second to think about it. I don't know what the delay on the screen is, so I'm going to give chat a few moments. OBJ, Von Miller, Juju, Tony, ding, ding, ding. The most recent example, according to Copilot, of a player traded midseason who went on to win a Super Bowl was Kadarius Toney. Was traded from the New York Giants to the Kansas City Chiefs during the 22 NFL season. After joining the Chiefs, Toney contributed to their playoff run and played in Super Bowl LVII. What is that, 55? 57? 57, where Kansas City defeated the Philadelphia Eagles. While Toney's overall impact was limited due to injuries, he made a key play in the Super Bowl with a touchdown reception and a pivotal punt return that helped swing momentum in the Chiefs' favor. Wow, guys. I'm hearing a little Kadarius Toney. But we do have to move on, guys. We do have to move on because we've got to talk some ball today. We've got to talk some ball today because we have an incredible segment. And we're going to get to our first guy that everyone is talking about. Let's talk about Brian Thomas Jr. Now, I'm hearing some conflicting reports that maybe they won't trade him. Maybe they will. They're open to hearing offers. They're not open to hearing offers. We've heard a lot of conflicting reports in the media this week. But Deanna Rossini, the Jaguars are listening on calls for wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr., even if a move feels highly unlikely. They're also shopping for defense. So they're on the market. They're on the market. They're looking around, seeing how they can add pieces. And clearly they're not using BTJ as much as they were last year. They have Travis Hunter, who they just traded up to get in the draft. And I do think that Brian Thomas Jr. is a guy that, in the right scheme, with the right quarterback, right fit, could maybe make some moves. And I'm looking at you, New York Football Giants. Are you trying to win this year? Probably not. But you need to load up for your quarterback, for Jackson Dart, just like the Eagles have loaded up for Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts has Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert. They've got dogs out there, and you're trying to compete to win your division every year. And this type of move would help you get into that conversation at least. And I think Brian Thomas Jr., maybe a little bit of a sophomore slump this year. Plenty of talent, plenty of big playability. He can turn into a reliable one-on-one target. And good God, if you put him opposite of a healthy Malik Neighbors with some of the juice that they also have in the receiving room, with Jackson Dart, one of the swaggiest, most aura-filled quarterbacks in the league, I think that Brian Thomas Jr. with the New York Football Giants could be a star. And I think that it'd be really tough to double cover Malik Neighbors when he's healthy. And you're seeing even the Cowboys, they've got Pickens and CD. Pickens is a dog. Pickens is their wide receiver one essentially right now. And in that division, it looks like to win consistently or even give yourself a chance consistently, you're going to need some firepower on offense. So the New York Football Giants, in my opinion, whether it be through the draft or it be through trading, will be in the market to add some juice to their offense. And at the end of the day, even if they're not winning football games, they're trying to sell tickets. And I don't know, man. I could see it. I could see a little LSU receiver room up there in New York. I would like it. But also we got to talk about another New York team, the Buffalo Bills, because the Bills, guys, the Bills put some points up on the Panthers this week, but they don't have a lot of juice in their receiving room. Khalil Shakir is a great slot receiver. Coleman is a good one-on-one 50-50 ball guy, but he's not like stretching the field. I think that it's about time the Buffalo Bills go get what could be a premier receiver in the league in Brian Thomas Jr. We've seen the ability. We've seen that he's young. He could make plays. He could do it. I would like to see Brian Thomas Jr. go to a team that he can bolster them up and get them right, and the Buffalo Bills would be one of them. Go get Josh Allen a guy. Go get him a guy, because right now, the way that it looks, the Buffalo Bills, yes, they just rolled the Panthers, but Andy Dalton played terrible. I think the Bills are going to need a little bit more firepower to make a deep playoff run, because right now, when you're looking at it, they're still going to have to run through Kansas City. They're still going to have to probably run into the Denver Broncos, and they're going to need all the firepower they can get. And I don't think they have enough right now to win a Super Bowl on that roster. I'm seeing chat is rolling. Thank you guys so much for being here. I like that. I like that. Colts would be a juggernaut. I'm not going to lie to you. I think the Colts got everything they need right now. I think they got everything they need right now. I don't think that they're going to be trading for Brian Thomas Jr. But we also have to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers, because we saw last night, guys, you cannot send Aaron Rodgers out there with 13 personnel. For those of you that don't know, 1 running back, 3 tight ends, 13 personnel. You can't send him out there with 13 personnel all game, every game in critical times. I saw Freiermuth running corner routes from the slot, deep crosses from the slot, digs, ins. Freiermuth's a good tight end, but he's not a slot receiver, dang it. The Steelers need help. DK Metcalf, not playing great. They need a little bit of juice. And Aaron Rodgers is doing enough for them to win games. They're still first in the AFC North, but their defense is not playing great. Their offense doesn't have enough spark. You need some spark, Pittsburgh Steelers. And that's why I have Brian Thomas Jr. on this landing list. Ooh, someone mentioned Seattle receivers. Did you read my show notes that I sent over? Because we've got Seattle in the mix for some of these guys. But let's move to the next guy. Let's talk about Hendrickson. Now, oh man, you're paying Hendrickson a lot of money. And I said this before they paid him a lot of money. I'm going to try to turn this not into a Bengals hate segment, but the Bengals are exhibit A of exactly how not to build an NFL roster. You're still giving up 40 points randomly to the Jets, 39 points to the Jets, and you're paying Trey Hendrickson, what, $40 million a year, something like that? 30-something million dollars a year? He's not moving the needle for your defense, dude. He's not moving the needle. They're just going to slide to him, double team him, all that stuff. He is not worth the money for you. But on another team where he'd actually maybe go add some value, not be the lone shining star, he might be worth that. Dallas, I'm looking at you. And would it not be Jerry Jones enough to go trade away Micah Parsons to go get an older D end and pay him similarly? And yes, Trey Hendrickson can make some plays. But on the Bengals defense, they have too many problems to where Trey Hendrickson doesn't win them games, clearly. I think that he could be on the move. And I know that they got 50-some million a year sunk into Joe Burrow that it seems to me that Joe Flacco, for a bargain discount of 10% of that, is getting the job done with those amazing receivers. They have overspent in a bunch of different ways in Cincinnati. This being one of them, it's not worth it. Go trade him. Go get as much out of him as you can. Go the cheap route and draft some players. Maybe you can hit on some draft picks that you don't have to pay for 4 or 5 years, because that's, as we know it, that's where they got to live, because the Bengals defense isn't enough with one guy getting a bulk of it. They need to split that salary into a bunch of different guys that can go make impact on a budget, because they've spent so much money on offense that it's not even moving the needle. But I like the Cowboys, and the Cowboys need help, man. They need help. They're doing not so great on the defensive side of the ball. Okay. 30th in points. They're giving up a bunch of shootouts. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys they've let up a ton of points across the board. They got the Packers that scored 40 on them last week. You got the Broncos put up almost 50 on them. Like, it's been bad. They need help. They need help if they're even going to make a playoff push. So why not go swinging? They called for Max Crosby. They won't deal Max Crosby. Fine. Let's talk about the Patriots, though. I put the Patriots on this list because this would be a very Vrabel move to go get a premier edge rusher to make his defense even better than it's already been playing, to try to go secure the division. Because as far as I'm concerned, the New England Patriots, this is their division to lose. They already got one game head-to-head over the Bills. They got to play them again. You're going to need defensive help down the stretch to win games against the Bills, to win games in the AFC. And right now, there's not much you really need on offense. Keep bolstering up the defense, in my opinion, on New England. I would like it. I would like to see it. Does he stay a Bengal forever? Who knows? But I don't know, man. If Trey Hendrickson's on the move, I wouldn't be shocked to see him go to one of these few places. But you can never predict anything with the Bengals, man. It feels like their owner's stingy. He's cheap. And I don't know. I don't love it. I will also say the Bills, they just had, it was Oliver, I believe, just had tore his pec, which I know they play slightly different positions, but the Bills are going to need defensive help. And again, the Bills, I'm seeing their vision of going to a Super Bowl slip and slip and slip and slip. And I don't know, man. Wouldn't be shocked to see one of those guys trade for him. But could I see him go to the Lions? Yeah. I would also, I have 49ers in the mix. I almost put them up there on this, but I took them down because we only wanted 3 spots. Could see the 49ers trying to make some push for trades. Don't know what their salary cap situation looks like, but man, I don't know. Trey Hendrickson, weird situation, great player, bad fit right now with the Bengals. He doesn't move the needle for them. So let's see what we got. Let's move on. Let's talk about Olave, because as far as I'm concerned, the Saints need to clean house. They need to get rid of all of their old players, all of their players that they're about to have to pay, and they need a full-on fresh restart from ground zero where they build it from the ground up. And as far as I'm concerned too, you look at the Steelers, like we said, they have nobody at receiver. They have Metcalf, who hasn't been playing great. He makes a couple plays every few weeks, and that's about it. You have the Seahawks, who are interesting. I know we saw chat not long ago talking about adding a receiver to the mix with the Seahawks. If you got the Seahawks to get a premier receiver to match up with Smith and Jigba, you might be looking at the rebuilding of a mini dynasty over there, because Sam Darnold playing lights out. Smith and Jigba only going to get better. They're going to get their run game rolling a little bit. Mike McDonald's defense is for real. I got to spend time with Mike McDonald this past year out in Seattle with an event with Microsoft, actually. Brought to you by Copilot. That's actually funny. 2 completely unrelated things. And Mike McDonald has it dialed in on defense. And that place in Seattle is a hard place to play. So you go get them another playmaking receiver that can go pop off and make things shake. Olave, Smith and Jigba could be crazy out there in Seattle. I kind of want it. I'm not going to lie to you. I want to see what that would look like. But we do have a few more landing spots, like we talk about. The Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills need help. They need help on defense. They're getting kind of withered away. They need help on offense. Yes, they just put up a bunch of points against the Panthers, but kind of felt like a little stat padding situation with how bad the Panthers were playing. And I don't know, man. These 3 teams, to me, need to be buyers at the trade deadline if they want to make the most out of their season. I think the Seahawks are the best to not be buyers, but if they are buyers, I'm not going to lie to you. The way it's looking, I'm seeing Seattle, Detroit, Green Bay as the 3-headed monster to try to take on the Eagles to go to the Super Bowl. It's going to be one of those 4 teams. And Seattle right now, if they can win enough games to get home field advantage, That place is going to be impossible to play in come the playoffs. One of the loudest stadiums in the NFL, one of the craziest. Free K9 facts. See you in chat. Free K9. One of the craziest places to play. I would not be shocked. Now, let's talk about another Saints player. Give me Shaheed, man. Give me Shaheed because Shaheed needs to go. Shaheed could get paid somewhere else too. And I really like Shaheed for a few spots. And let's see them. Also, chat, I do see you. Thank you for hanging out. What do you know? The same spots. The Steelers. The Steelers need someone that can stretch the field right now. They have nobody that can stretch the field. The Steelers are my number one fit for Shaheed. Aaron Rodgers clearly can throw the ball downfield still. Really well. Hit a 70-yard pass the other night. Hail Mary. Got it there. The Bills? Yo, wait, can you see those? I can see those. I can see your chat, baby. Come on now. Give me Aaron Rodgers to Shaheed. Also, same thing with the Bills. Someone that can stretch the field. Because right now the Bills don't have anybody that can stretch the field. And nobody can throw the ball in the NFL further than Josh Allen. I feel like we are watching Shaheed being wasted away right now in New Orleans. And I would just love to see one of the premier passers around the league throw him the rock. And then last but not least, could you imagine Shaheed going over the top while Smith and Jigba is eating underneath? Could be crazy. He is a difference maker. And I mean, it's just crazy to me because Shaheed is a really good receiver. Olave is a pretty good receiver. I could see both of these guys elevating a team that goes on a true playoff push for a Super Bowl run. Yo, what's up, Kurt? Love your stuff, G. Hey, thank you, Strike. I appreciate that. I hope you guys love all the videos, man. I also want to just say thank you to Bleacher Report for allowing me to do this every week. Talk ball, yap a little bit, clip these things out, draw on the surface, make some plays. It has been really fun, and we got more action on the way. Also, we have a trade deadline show next week. 2 hours, trade deadline show. We're going to be recapping all the madness that will happen right as things boil down. And I do see some people in chat talking about the Bucs are frauds. The Bucs are really injury-ridden right now. Really, really, really. Look at this, chat. I like it. Rodgers isn't his guy. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm tired of seeing Aaron Rodgers trot out there throwing to 3 tight ends every day, every game, every series. Get him out of 13 personnel. Give him a speedster. But we do have to move on to Njoku. Okay? We do have to move on to Njoku. And Njoku, in my opinion, is still one of the guys that could be an impact player down the stretch. And what 3 teams could use him the most? 3 teams that historically love tight ends. Big tight end teams. Gronk played for 2 of them, and Harbaugh loves his tight ends. Give me Njoku to one of these 3 teams to elevate them and get them over the hump of being a force. Okay? And the Bucs, in my opinion, they need some help. They've got receivers that are constantly hurt. Mike Evans is out, obviously, terrible collarbone injury. But I think these 3 teams make sense. Njoku to the Patriots. Could you imagine Drake May throwing to Njoku? I'd love to see it. And I've publicly asked for forgiveness for my sins of saying that Drake May wasn't him when he was young. He is officially him, and Drake May is your leading MVP quarterback right now. And if you were able to give him any weapon, he doesn't really need receivers. They're balling. Tight ends are fine, but if you could elevate a category for them, it'd be the tight end room. And I'd love to see Njoku with the Patriots, man. It'd be such a good fit. He can get it done in the run game. He can get it done in the pass game. I would love it. I would absolutely love it. I also think Tampa Bay. I know they love Cade Otton, but he doesn't have the juice. And I could see Baker Mayfield with a tight end that has a little bit of juice. And I'd love to see Njoku there. And then last but not least, the Chargers. Give me Herbie fully loaded thrown to Njoku. Oh my, would I love to see it. And I love Gadsden. I really do love Gadsden. And Gadsden is their tight end 1 right now. But I do know that with the way that Greg Roman wants to run the offense and with what Harbaugh does there in LA, they would thrive with 2 tight ends of their stature. The run game would become more explosive. They get more boots off the play action. Their offense would take it to another level with a premier tight end or an upper echelon tight end like Njoku. And Gadsden would only be better. I think that he could fit in any of these places. His fit would be a little bit different depending on which one of these 3 he goes to. But I do want to talk and show a little bit of the juice that Njoku has with our Microsoft Surface. So, without further ado, let's get into it. We got film, baby. Watch our guy Njoku right here. Okay, I know we don't got a whole lot cooking, but let's see it. This is what I like. Do you know who this is? This is a faster defender than him. This is a mismatch. This is a mismatch, and he has got inside leverage on Njoku, okay? Look at how he can set up in the red zone, especially. And if you know New England, I can picture him being in New England. Not even saying they're looking for him, but somewhere in like New England. Going to be really cold in January, trying to get to the Super Bowl in February. How he separates with his size and gets friendly to the quarterback, and also is willing to take hits down the middle. I absolutely love it, man, and keeps his feet. I just think that Njoku right now is kind of being wasted a little bit in Cleveland. I know that Dylan Gabriel wouldn't be happy if Njoku left because he's been a nice little safety net. But I will say, they also have Fannin, a young tight end that's kind of being used in the slot a little bit. They could afford to get some picks out for him. But look at this, man. Nice separation, big gloves, great catcher. I just think that Njoku could be a guy on the move that could elevate a few of these teams that we've been looking at. It's not like they've been using him crazy either there. 27 receptions, 260 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's been good. But I don't think that they're using him or even capable of using him how they should. So Njoku, let's go get on the move, big dog. Let's go get on the move. I'd really love to see him in New England, no lie. But it's all speculation. You don't know. We don't know. But we do have some other guys that'll be on the move. Okay? Let's talk about Breece Hall. Because Breece Hall absolutely put the team on his back this past week against the Bengals. A lot of yards, a lot of explosive plays. Even when there was no play to be had, he was shaking people out of their shoes in the hole. It was incredible. Now, Breece Hall, for me, there's some teams in the running back department, in the running back market, that could be looking to add someone like him that can get it done in the pass game and in the rushing game. But what a day. 2 rushing touchdowns, a passing touchdown, 18 carries. Crazy. Oh no, we lost the camera. We lost the camera, gang. Hold on. Please hold. Oh. Little reconnect. Please hold, please hold, please hold. Sometimes you have technical difficulties. Bam. We're back. Look at that, man. Look at that. We're back. But Breece Hall. Give me Breece Hall to the Kansas City Chiefs. Give me Breece Hall to the Chicago Bears, the Houston Texans. Now, I will say I like Woody Marks with the Texans. He's been playing really well, but I still think that Breece Hall could elevate them. The Chiefs is a no-brainer for me. The Chiefs have a running back by committee that could very easily become no committee at all if they got Breece Hall. He'd be able to get it done as a 3-down back. He'd be able to be nasty in the pass game. And I think that someone like him could elevate this offense to new heights that they have not seen in a while. And then lastly, the Chicago Bears. Now, DeAndre Swift has gotten things done. We can look at the Chiefs' offensive stats here. 5th, 6th, 10th. This team only gets better if they get Breece Hall. I think he's absolutely the perfect fit for them. Or they're the perfect fit for him. One way or another, no matter which way you shake it. I really do. I kind of hope that Breece goes to the Chiefs. Now, everyone knows that on social media I've been a Chiefs hater for quite some time. I'm not really a Chiefs hater. I like how they play offense. I love it. I'm more of a Chiefs demeanor hater, and I'm more of a Chiefs fan hater. I'll be very honest. Chiefs fans have been terrible to me for the past few years, and I've probably asked for a little bit. But I would love to see Breece Hall go to the Chiefs because I think that this offense could be a true juggernaut, and it'd be fun to watch. It'd be a lot of fun to watch. And then I also think that Breece Hall could unlock elements of the Chicago Bears offense that DeAndre Swift just can't at this point. So, I don't know. We know that Ben Johnson knows what to do with running backs. Maybe he ends up there, but Breece, in my opinion, this was a perfect time for him to have the game of his life. Shows that he can get it done a bunch of different ways. He can be a power back, a speed back, a scat back, all of it. And he can pass. If you guys have ever seen that Boobie Miles reference. But Breece Hall was Boobie Miles this past week. And I would not be shocked to see him on the move. But man, the Ravens. The Ravens 2-5. Ew. I don't know if they're looking for a running back. Let's get to the next one. We've got our last one. And our not least one. We've got to talk about none other than Jakobi Meyers. Because Jakobi Meyers, along with a lot of other terribleness happening with the Raiders, he's got to be on the move. I don't like that he's wasting his talent there. I think he's also a really good receiver, by the way. I think he's shifty. He's got good hands. He could be a guy that, just like in this stack, these are the 3 teams for me that should be looking for a receiver. 2 out of necessity, 1 out of nice to have. Give me Jacoby Myers to one of these teams that could help them elevate and get it done. I don't think he's as good of a fit for the Bills because he plays a little bit more into that Shakir role, but they'd find a way to use him. I could see him with Pittsburgh, get a little help in the slot because they have DK out wide. And then Seattle, I'd like to see him go to Seattle because I think that if Seattle can pair one more receiver with what they're cooking with, it could be fun to watch. It could be a whole lot of fun to watch. And he's just not really like being used. I mean, it's anybody right now that's of any talent at all is being wasted with the Raiders. And Genty, he's just in for it, man. We might see Ashton Genty with a Barry Sanders type of situation where he's just going to be a good running back on a bad team for a very, very, very long time. Ooh. And I'm seeing, guys, we do know that the Eagles are buyers at the trade deadline. Historically, we know that for a fact. I would not be shocked to see the Eagles pull off some weirdness on the defensive side of the ball. Wouldn't be shocked. But I'm so thankful you guys are so active in chat. You guys are talking, giving your advice, giving your opinions, asking questions. It's been an awesome, awesome run so far to have this show with you guys every Monday. I love it. We've got a lot of trade speculations. We've got guys on the move. We've got crazy performances. This has, without a doubt, been one of the craziest NFL seasons to date that I've ever watched. I'm watching ball for a long time. And I hope that you guys are enjoying it. The parody is insane. Nobody knows who's who each week. You got a team blown out one team one week, playing a lesser team the next week, getting blown out. It is crazy. And the last thing I want to leave you with is right now, we have a two-way race, in my opinion, for MVP between Indiana Daniel Jones and Drake May. And it's crazy. Got some other guys that'll be creeping up. Patrick Mahomes, I'm seeing you. You're playing lights out. But we've got such a crazy year in the NFL. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Thank you guys for joining in every Monday. We've got more action next week. We've got clips going out on socials. Be sure to follow everywhere, like it, comment, do all the things, and we'll see you guys next week.